Nathan Hale, the Patriot spy who gave his life for American independence. August 29th, 1776. The American Revolutionary War teeters on a knife's edge. The Continental Army, under the command of General George Washington, has just suffered a crushing defeat at the Battle of Long Island. Retreating under the cloak of darkness to the precarious safety of New York City, Washington grapples with a dire predicament. With over a quarter of his 14,000 troops incapacitated by illness and a third lacking essential provisions, tents, clothing, shoes, blankets, the situation is untenable. The army is spread thin, defending a line stretching over 12 miles, while facing a British force of 25,000 seasoned veterans supported by a formidable naval fleet dominating the New York Bay and East River. Amidst this turmoil, Washington faces a harrowing choice: attempt to hold New York City against overwhelming odds, or withdraw to preserve the remnants of his army. Enter Nathan Hale, a young captain whose unwavering patriotism and ultimate sacrifice would etch his name into the annals of American history. Nathan Hale was born on June 6, 1755, in the quiet hamlet of Coventry, Connecticut. He was the sixth of 12 children born to Richard Hale and Elizabeth Strong, devout Puritans who instilled in their children the virtues of faith, duty, and education. Hale's father, a prosperous livestock farmer, believed fervently in the importance of education. At the age of 15, a significant feat for the time, Nathan was admitted to Yale College in 1770. There, he immersed himself in rigorous studies, excelling in literature, mathematics, and the classics. He became an active member of the Linnean Society, participating in debates that sharpened his rhetoric and critical thinking. During his tenure at Yale, Hale was influenced by Enlightenment ideals of liberty, reason, and individual rights. These principles would later underpin his commitment to the revolutionary cause. Among his peers was Benjamin Tallmadge, who would play a pivotal role in espionage efforts during the war. Upon graduating with honors in 1773, Hale embraced a career in education, first taking a position in East Haddam, Connecticut, and shortly thereafter becoming the headmaster of the Union Grammar School in New London. His pedagogy was progressive. He emphasized not only intellectual growth, but also physical well-being and moral character. He introduced activities such as wrestling, baseball, and other sports, innovations that were unconventional for the time. Hale believed that fostering physical fitness was essential in developing well-rounded individuals. Beyond academics, Hale held weekly discussions on ethics and civic responsibility, nurturing a sense of patriotism and community among his pupils. His dedication endeared him to students and parents alike, establishing him as a respected figure in New London. The 1770s were fraught with escalating tensions between the American colonies and Great Britain. The imposition of the Stamp Act, the Townshend Acts, and the Intolerable Acts fueled resentment. The catalyst came on April 19, 1775, with the battles of Lexington and Concord, the shot heard round the world. When word of the conflict reached New London, the impact was immediate. At a hastily convened town meeting, Hale delivered an impassioned speech, declaring, "Let us march immediately and never lay down our arms until we obtain our independence." Despite the promising trajectory of his teaching career, Hale felt an unshakable duty to his fledgling nation. On July 1, 1775, he accepted a commission as a first lieutenant in the 7th Connecticut Regiment, leaving behind the classroom for the battlefield. Hale quickly rose to the rank of captain, taking command of a company of volunteers. His leadership style was characterized by empathy and dedication. He was not merely a commander, but also a caretaker, overseeing his men's rations, clothing, and pay. Understanding the hardships his soldiers faced, Hale often dipped into his own modest funds to ensure their needs were met. His rapport with his men was exceptional. They respected him not only as an officer, but also as a mentor and confidant. Despite the scarcity of resources, Hale remained committed to improving the proficiency of his company. He studied military tactics extensively, keenly aware that discipline and strategy were vital against the superior British forces. The Battle of Long Island was a severe blow to the Continental Army. British forces executed a flanking maneuver that caught the Americans off guard, resulting in approximately 1,000 Patriot casualties and the capture of vital positions. General Washington's situation was precarious. With the British controlling the surrounding waters and poised for an assault on New York City, he faced a strategic impasse. The need for accurate intelligence on British plans became paramount. Recognizing the critical nature of the moment, Washington stated, "The fate of the army depends upon obtaining intelligence of the enemy's motions." Colonel Thomas Knowlton was tasked with finding a volunteer to infiltrate enemy lines. The mission was fraught with danger. The fate of captured spies was a grim execution by hanging. Despite the urgency, no one stepped forward. The stigma attached to espionage, considered dishonorable by many, compounded the inherent risks. It was then that Nathan Hale, understanding the gravity of the situation, volunteered. His fellow officers were taken aback. Captain William Hull, a close friend, urged him to reconsider, emphasizing the perils and the ignominy associated with espionage. Hale replied, with unwavering resolve, "I wish to be useful, and every kind of service necessary for the public good becomes honorable by being necessary." Disguised as a Dutch schoolteacher, Hale crossed Long Island Sound aboard the sloop Schuyler, landing near Huntington Bay on September 12, 1776. Fluent in both Latin and basic Dutch phrases, he blended into the local populace. For nearly 2 weeks, Hale meticulously gathered intelligence. He sketched fortifications, noted troop numbers and movements, and detailed the positioning of artillery units. His observations were coded and concealed within the soles of his shoes, a method both ingenious and perilous. His demeanor and education allowed him to navigate the enemy territory without immediate suspicion, demonstrating remarkable courage and adaptability in the face of constant danger. With his mission complete, Hale endeavored to return to American lines. While waiting for his rendezvous, he sought shelter at the Cedars Tavern, unaware that it was a hub for Loyalists and British operatives. Among those present was Major Robert Rogers, famed leader of Rogers's Rangers during the French and Indian War, now aligned with the British. Sensing something amiss, Rogers engaged Hale in conversation, feigning sympathy to the Patriot cause. Believing he had found an ally, Hale lowered his guard, a critical miscalculation. The following morning, on September 21, 1776, he was apprehended by British soldiers led by Rogers. The concealed documents found on him provided incontrovertible evidence of his activities. Hale was brought before General William Howe. During the brief interrogation, Hale admitted without coercion to his rank and purpose, emphasizing that he considered himself a soldier performing his duty. General Howe, adhering strictly to the codes of war, decreed that Hale be executed the next morning. The sentence was to be carried out by William Cunningham, the notorious provost marshal whose reputation for brutality was well established. Denied a minister, writing materials, and the return of his personal effects, Hale spent his final hours in reflection. Cunningham callously destroyed the letters Hale wrote to his mother and fiancé, stating, "The rebels shall never know they had a man who could die with such firmness." On the morning of September 22, 1776, Nathan Hale was escorted to the gallows, a rudimentary structure beneath an apple tree. A small assembly of British soldiers and civilians bore witness. Eyewitness accounts describe Hale as dignified and serene. When asked if he had any last words, he proclaimed with unwavering conviction, "I only regret that I have but one life to lose for my country." These words, echoing sentiments from Joseph Addison's play Cato, encapsulated the profound patriotism and selflessness of a man willing to give his all for the cause of independence. At the age of 21, Nathan Hale was executed. His body was buried in an unmarked grave, his sacrifice largely unheralded at the time, but destined to inspire generations to come. Nathan Hale's legacy is emblematic of the highest ideals of the American Revolution. His willingness to undertake a perilous mission, his steadfast adherence to duty, and his composure in the face of death exemplify the profound sacrifices made in pursuit of liberty. Although his espionage mission did not yield the immediate benefit sought by General Washington, Hale's execution underscored the dire consequences of intelligence failures. This realization prompted Washington to restructure his intelligence operations, leading to the formation of the Culper spy ring, a crucial element in the eventual success of the American forces. Hale's story has been memorialized in literature, art, and monuments. Notably, Sculptor Frederick William McMonnies' statue in City Hall Park, New York City, stands as a testament to his enduring impact. Inscribed with the words, "A Patriot Spy of the American Revolution," it serves as a tangible reminder of his valor. Nathan Hale's sacrifice invites us to reflect deeply on the values upon which the United States was founded. His life, though brief, was marked by a commitment to principles that transcend time: liberty, honor, and selflessness. As we navigate the complexities of the present, remembering figures like Hale can inspire us to uphold these ideals. Their stories are not merely historical footnotes, but foundational narratives that shape our national identity. We encourage you to explore further the rich tapestry of the American Revolution, to honor the legacies of those who, like Nathan Hale, gave their last full measure of devotion for the freedoms we enjoy today.